Welcome back to Channel. We're doing absolutely fine. So the Matrix Resurrection is out. It would be out in a few days, and today just the red carpet premiere happened, and Priyanka was looking so much awesome. And the only point of probably me watching this movie would be for Priyanka, because from being where she was and now where she is, she has made India so much proud. And also, like, I have watched Matrix movies just in bits and pieces, but we have, thanks to IGN, we have a kind of a complete Matrix timeline, kind of compilation and narration as well. So I just sort of reacting to it, because it would kind of even brush up all my memories, and also would actually be able to see how the entire journey has been since so many years, and now finally how the fourth movie would be starting. So let's start with the video.
Free your mind. More than 2 decades after The Matrix redefined blockbuster movies and made black trench coats cool, the series is returning for a 4th movie. It's been a wild ride, but apparently the story of Neo isn't finished just yet. They say no one can be told what The Matrix is, but that's
true.
nonsense. So let's break down the full Matrix saga leading up to The Matrix Resurrections, including the vital backstory revealed in spin-offs like The Animatrix and Enter the Matrix. We'll be your operator on this journey into the heart of The Matrix. First movie opens in a time when humanity is enslaved by machines, but The Animatrix shows us exactly why things got so bad in the first place. In the 21st century, mankind creates the first artificially intelligent robots in its own image. Apparently no one watched the Terminator movies in this universe. Unfortunately, it's not long before robots become second-class citizens. The machines establish their own city and create a technological utopia that crashes the global economy. Thus begins all-out war with humanity. Let's just say that war doesn't go well for the fleshy side. Growing increasingly desperate, humans resort to Mr. Burns' defense, aka Operation Darkstorm, blocking out the sun and cutting off the machines from the solar power they need to function. And that plan works about as well as it did for old Burnsy. The machines simply find another power source: humans themselves. They develop a way to imprison humans in stasis pods and harvest their bioelectric energy. It's not long before the last of the human resistance is wiped out and the entire planet becomes one giant storm-covered battery factory.
Oh my god.
In order to keep humanity safely subjugated, a machine AI known as the Architect designs a complex system called the Matrix. In its current form, the Matrix is a detailed simulation of human civilization as it existed in the late 20th century. Before the advent of AI, humans live out their entire lives inside the Matrix, totally unaware they're living in a simulation, while robot overlords feed off their bodies. The Matrix also becomes home to a number of computer programs masquerading as human beings, including the ruthless body-stealing enforcers known as agents. Cue Thomas Anderson, aka Neo. Computer programmer by day and renegade hacker by night, Neo is obsessed with finding a fugitive named Morpheus and solving the ultimate riddle. What is the Matrix? Little does he realize Morpheus and his underground resistance cell are looking for him. Neo is led to an encounter with fellow hacker Trinity, and later with Morpheus himself, who offers Neo the choice between learning the truth about the Matrix or returning to his regular life. Neo chooses the former, and wakes up bald and naked in a goop-filled pod. Been there. He's dumped out, rescued, and brought aboard Morpheus' hovercraft, the Nebuchadnezzar. Neo is given the crash course in post-Matrix life in the very ruined world, including the disgusting but nutritious goop that passes for food. There are perks, however, like being able to download Kung Fu directly into your brain via this very uncomfortable-looking USB dongle. Neo also learns that those humans lucky enough to be freed from the Matrix live in an underground city called Zion, waiting for the day their savior comes. Morpheus believes Neo is that savior. He believes Neo is the one, a special human who freed the first humans and founded Zion, who was prophesied by the all-knowing Oracle to return and end the war. Trinity, meanwhile, believes Neo is the man she's destined to fall in love with. However, while in the Matrix, the Oracle tells Neo he is not the one, and that he will have to make a choice between sacrificing Morpheus or sacrificing himself. But she also gives him a cookie. And anyone who's spent much time on the internet knows to be wary of cookies. Thanks to the treacherous crewmate Cypher, Morpheus is captured by the agent leader, Agent Smith, but Neo mounts a rescue mission with the help of Trinity and guns. Lots of guns. During the rescue, Neo begins to demonstrate extraordinary abilities, and he and Trinity temporarily defeat the agents. Morpheus and Trinity escape, but Neo is trapped inside and forced to fight Smith one-on-one. He does a surprisingly good job of it, but in the end, he's only human. Or is he? Neo is seemingly killed by Smith, completing the Oracle's prophecy. Luckily, Neo comes back to life with godlike power because he is the One. Whether Oracle was just fooling around with Neo or he truly did need a system reboot to unlock his full potential, the end result is the same. Neo obliterates Smith and shows the machines they still have plenty to fear from humanity. Over the next 6 months, Neo helps the human resistance free more minds than ever before. That includes a teenage hacker known only as the Kid, who becomes the first known human to self-substantiate or unplug himself from the Matrix with no outside help. This period of relative calm is finally ended when the crew of the Osiris discover the machines are using giant drills to dig their way to Zion. While the ship is destroyed, the crew are able to pass a warning to Captain Niobe and the crew of the Ghost before they die. Niobe passes along this intel at a secret meeting with her fellow captains. Agents crash the meeting, but Neo fends them off. Afterwards, we discover Smith survived his last encounter with Neo and now has the ability to clone himself. Smith then assimilates a human rebel called Bane, whom he uses to escape the Matrix into the real world. While Zion begins mounting a defense, Neo visits the Oracle again. Neo now realizes the Oracle isn't human, but rather a program within the Matrix. She informs Neo he must go into the Source, the machine mainframe, to save Zion. To do that, he needs to get the Keymaker, who is currently imprisoned by the Merovingian, an old program protected by other exiled programs, hiding with him to avoid deletion. An army of Smiths ambush Neo, gloating that Neo freed Smith to become a powerful rogue program, but Neo fights them off and escapes. The Merovingian makes it clear he has no desire to help humans, though his jilted wife Persephone is a little more cooperative, for a price. After several martial arts throwdowns and a truly epic car chase, the Keymaker is finally liberated. He helps hatch a plan to destroy a power plant and open a doorway to the Source. Despite interference from Smith both in and out of the Matrix, Neo is able to make it to his destination, but only after the Keymaker himself is caught in the crossfire. Once inside the Source, Neo meets the Architect, creator of the Matrix and keeper of the 11 secret herbs and spices. The Architect explains that the concept of the One is an intentional anomaly of the Matrix designed to maintain. There have been 5 versions of the Matrix and 5 ones before Neo, and the machines have destroyed Zion 5 times already. The Architect tells Neo he may either enter the Source, disseminate his special code, and restart Zion from scratch for the 7th time, or re-enter the Matrix to save Trinity, who has encountered an agent and is currently falling to her death. The second choice, according to the Architect, will result in the final extinction of humanity. Neo chooses love and saves Trinity from certain death, but things are looking pretty bleak at this point, especially after the Smith-controlled Bane sabotages Zion's defense plans and destroys almost the entire fleet. Even the Nebuchadnezzar is destroyed by the machines. Neo suddenly manifests the ability to control the Sentinels from outside the Matrix, but he passes out before he can explain himself. Humans now have mere hours before the machines reach Zion and everything ends. Morpheus' first order of business is freeing Neo's mind from a digital limbo called Mobile Avenue. The movie never entirely reveals why Neo is trapped there, but the consensus is that because Neo refused to carry out the primary function of the One, he's basically being treated as a rogue program isolated from the system. Neo pays one last visit to the Oracle, who tells him that Smith will destroy both the Matrix and the real world unless Neo can stop him. After Neo leaves, Smith arrives, ruins a fresh batch of innocent cookies before assimilating the Oracle, which he's pretty stoked about. Back in the real world, the Hammer finds Niobe and her crew and reactivate the Logos. Niobe gives the Logos to Neo and Trinity, who use it to travel to the Machine City, while the Hammer, Logos, and Nebuchadnezzar crew head back to Zion in the Hammer. The Smith-possessed Bane hides aboard the Logos and blinds Neo, but Neo prevails because he's basically a digital daredevil now. The Hammer reaches Zion and uses its EMP to temporarily stave off the machine assault. Neo and Trinity reach the Machine City. Trinity is killed, but Neo survives and brokers a deal with the machine's leader. He'll destroy Smith, who is now an unprecedented threat to both humanity and the machine mainframe, in exchange for peace with Zion. Neo is jacked into the Matrix and fights Smith, who appears to have assimilated every single person and program in the entire system. Neo deliberately surrenders to Smith, who suspects it's a trick, but assimilates Neo anyway, allowing the machine's leader to send through a surge that deletes Smith and every copy of him, restoring everyone to their original selves, including programs like the Oracle. Neo's heroic sacrifice allows the Matrix to be reset. The machines retreat from Zion, the war is over, and the architect confirms to the Oracle that humans who wish to leave the Matrix will be freed peacefully. But how long can this peace really hold? That's one of the big questions fueling The Matrix Online, the now defunct MMORPG that continues the Matrix saga. New conflicts quickly begin to brew between Zion, the machines, and the Merovingians faction of rogue programs. There are even sub-factions like the kids' band of Neo worshippers and the Cypherites, humans who want to return to the safety and comfort of the Matrix. Morpheus begins a campaign of guerrilla terrorism to force the machines to turn over Neo's body, even though the machines don't seem to know what happened to his remains either. Morpheus is eventually assassinated by a program known as, fittingly, the Assassin, which only heightens tensions inside the Matrix. By the end of the Matrix Online's lifespan, players see the truce between Zion and the machines fall apart, and there's evidence to suggest both Neo and Trinity may still be alive. Sadly, Warner Brothers pulled the plug on the game in 2009, so that sequel story remains forever unfinished. It's unclear whether the game will be treated as part of the official series canon in The Matrix Resurrections, but it is worth noting that Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus is MIA as far as we know. It's believed Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is playing a new, younger version of Morpheus, which only raises more questions. And one other thing, did you know that there are aliens in the Matrix universe? An early Neil Gaiman short story called Goliath shows a mysterious alien craft launching asteroids at one of the machine battery plants in London. Interestingly, some fans have speculated these aliens are actually just humans who used Operation Darkstorm as cover for fleeing the planet during the war, and are now trying to reclaim their ancestral home. And that's the full Matrix saga leading up to the release of The Matrix Resurrections.
All right, so that is it for the overall recap. Now we like clearly remember everything what had happened with all the rest of the movies, and now would really look forward for the fourth Resurrection movie because it would absolutely give a kind of a different perspective. And I'm just trying to know more about how Neo and Trinity's character would be kind of going through, and apart from that, what exactly would be Priyanka Chopra doing? Because honestly speaking, I'm obviously going to watch this only for her, and I'm not hoping that she might be having like that bigger part, but considering she just is in a part of a movie which is as big as any franchisee which is as big as this is a huge proud moment for us. So thank you so much for watching until here. This must have helped everyone to just get a quick recap of everything which has happened kind of so far, and it would give a fresh perspective to look with respect to the new movie. So thank you so much for watching until here. Let me know what you thought about the overall movies in the comments below, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and we'll meet you in the next video.